So, let's go on and move to some more Iran news. This is from the big beautiful channel BBC News. Um, sorry. This one is about Khamenei, the son, the new supreme leader. I think it's his first address to the nation. So this one's called Iran's new supreme leader vows to keep blocking the Strait of Hormuz in first statement by BBC News. Let's see what they have to say.
In the last few minutes, Iranian state television has broadcast a message from the newly appointed supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei. The message was read by an announcer and gave no indication as to the state of his health, which has been under question. Some reports say he was injured in that attack that killed his father and mother and other family members nearly 2 weeks ago. In the message, he said Iran would avenge the blood.
I assume that he wasn't killed, or like, sorry, not killed, but I assume that he wasn't injured, like super bad. Otherwise, I don't know if they would have chosen him as the leader. But he might, he might get targeted at some point anyway. I'm sure they have plenty of, hardliners that they could replace him with at a moment's notice. So.
Of its martyrs, and would continue to close the key Strait of Hormuz.
Our aim is actually to fail them, to make them fail in a very regrettable way. The enemy is...
Sorry, this is very hard to follow, this audio, however they're doing this. They really should have just had someone reread the transcript or something, because this is like kind of unintelligible a little bit.
Actually very vulnerable. They cannot actually open new fronts. And we are going to open new fronts against the enemy if deemed necessary.
Okay.
The new leader, who is 56 years old, spoke about losing his family and also talked of revenge.
I would like to focus on and address those people who have been suffering recently in the recent days, who have been harmed recently, those who have lost their loved ones, have been injured, those whose houses, whose businesses have been damaged or have been harmed. And first of all, I would like to express my condolences to the survivors, to the families of those killed and martyred. With the exception of my father, who has become so general, who's lost my wife, my dear wife, and my dear sister.
He lost a lot of his family in that strike. So yeah, I think he's he's probably ready for a little bit of avenging himself.
who was always serving her parents and who was rewarded this way spiritually, and also her child, and also my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, they have joined the ranks of the martyrs. And what has actually made it possible for me to have the patience.
For those unaware, like martyrdom and like Islamic culture, and again, take everything I say with a grain of salt because I'm no expert or anything, but is a very honorable thing to happen. And this sort of idea of martyrdom is born out of resistance and, the necessity of resistance narratives and stuff. So this is why I say his father, I don't think would have wanted to just like die of a cold or something. Like, I think that he, like, honestly was ready to be martyred probably. And, that doesn't obviously excuse the act of it, but I think that, I don't know, we should also take that into consideration when we do this. A lot of Americans don't really understand the concept of martyrdom or whatever, but it's really just, it's a narrative of resistance that's like, necessary when you're being colonized and being killed on a daily basis by your colonizer. So
is actually the promise of God for rewarding the patient, the people who have the patience in the right way. And I have hope, and I have actually I'm assured in this, and I would like to assure you that the revenge will be taken of all the people for all the martyrs. Not only our leader, actually any member of the nation who has been martyred or will be martyred by the enemies will be added to the file of the revenge. Part of the revenge has already been carried out, but it will be completely carried out. And until then, this file will be open, and the children who have been killed, that's even a more sensitive issue. The crimes that are intentionally being carried out by the enemy, who was carried out by the enemy regarding the school, the children's school of Mina, is of a special attention and importance.
Yeah, that's the thing that's been officially confirmed by America now at this point. I mean, we don't even really need that. Like I mean, when a school gets bombed, it's you really got like if it's a multiple choice question, like I don't know, there's two people who tend to be the culprit. You got, if I put Israel, America, and Iran on a multiple choice question and said, who do you think bombed this school? And that's all the information you got. I think most people could get the answer right pretty easily.
And they're going to be provided with free health service, and they're going to be provided with a package of benefits and families of those children, and also other damages that have been inflicted upon the places and properties of people, and they're going to be carried out as well, and as a duty that has to be carried out by all the responsible agencies of the government. They should perform their duties and report to me.
Okay. I'm sorry that that audio was so rough. I did not really expect it. I don't really pre-watch my videos in case anyone's curious. I ain't got time for that. So if I find videos, I just kind of throw them on the list and then we go through them here. So, but it sounds like, a pretty defiant message from him. Like they don't seem like they are going to allow America or Israel to declare the end of the war anytime soon. Like I said the other day, a person from the government came out and said that they're planning on keeping it up until the midterm so that Trump can face, the most amount of consequences for these types of decisions. So, we got another 8 months till then. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on.
Well, those the apparent words of the new Supreme Leader being spoken by Iranian state television presenter and translated for us. Let's cross live now to BBC
I don't know.
Persian. Baron, let's talk first of all about the fact that we don't see the Supreme Leader in this statement. We don't hear his voice. How do we know this is really him?
We don't, and there are speculations that it might not have been the Supreme Leader, the new Supreme Leader. We know that he was injured in the attack that killed his father and some of his family.
Again, I ask though, why would they install him as leader if he was on death's door? Like that seems like a silly thing to do, if I had to guess. Unless there's some like elaborate plan to go through him and then to some IRGC official or something, in order for like legitimacy or something. I don't know, but I really don't understand why they would do that. So I think that he probably did dictate it. He might just not be ready to come out in public yet.
Family members, and that he is probably in the hospital. The Israelis have said that he was injured in the attack, but it was not life-threatening. But we don't know the state of his health, and it is very much likely that the statement was not written by him. But he's a very reclusive figure. He's been an enigma for decades. And he has not made a speech before. He was named the Supreme Leader. He was never he'd never done an interview. So he might not be as present in the public eye as his father was, who was a president before he became the supreme leader. But if the statement was made by him, it just shows the continuation of his father's policies. And he talks about revenge. And there was speculation that he was actually be fueled by revenge, since his father, his mother, his wife, and some other family members of him were killed in the attack that on the first day of the war. And
I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want revenge for that? That's a horrible thing to happen. Also, war crime. If you're hitting the wives and children of foreign dignitaries, yeah, like, come on.
His statement was a message of defiance and confidence. He told the regional countries that they need to close the American bases in the region, and also said that the Strait of Hormuz will continue to be closed. So
yeah, I think that they've been talking a lot with the Gulf countries, and I think that they are trying to get the Gulf they're trying to get the Gulf countries to agree to remove the bases, like in exchange for no longer targeting them, which, yeah, is fair. So I think that the Gulf countries, if I were them, I would just agree to that. I have a feeling your people are not very happy about all this shit happening to their country just because they're hosting American military bases. So we'll see what happens with that. I think it would be a good call by the Gulf countries to try to get as many of those bases off their territory as possible.
It seems to be what everyone had expected, that he will carry on the policies of his father.
Absolutely, Baron. And he also talked to the Gulf nations about all the attacks we've seen recently. He said that Iran is only attacking US bases in those states, and we know that is not true. We've all seen the pictures of missiles and drones hitting airports.
We all know. It's just a fact. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this to be true. We are not just claiming these things.
And residential buildings. He also talked about wanting reparations for damages done within Iran as well. What do you make of the way in which he spoke about these Gulf states? He talked about it being Ramadan and about the way in which they treat Iran. It felt to me like he's not really holding out an olive branch to his Gulf neighbors.
That's stupid. This is a stupid analysis. He is, but he wants material changes from them. They seem to think that, like, oh, you must just offer your friendship out of the kindness of your heart, Iran. Why are you bombing all of these countries? It's like, no, they had a strategy. They bombed all of the bases. They bombed, any of the American military service members they could find or whatever. And sure, I'm sure that some innocent people died as well. There is always that risk when you embed your military infrastructure amongst a civilian populace. But this sort of idea that they're just like blustering or something to the Gulf states. No, they for that last part, those were all strategic things that they were trying to achieve, and this is also strategic. They're strategically trying to get them to remove the bases from their soil so that they can no longer be used as a weapon against Iran, like they're being used right now, where they're sending targeting data. They're not sending missiles directly, but they're giving just a lot of intel and data and potentially firing off interceptors. And also they could be used in the future for supply lines or whatever, right? So they need that strategic thing to happen, and so that's what they're doing. The media loves to pretend like Iran is just some like madman who doesn't know what they're doing. Iran knows what it's doing. Everything that it's done has shown that they know what they're doing a lot more than we know what we're doing. So that's just kind of racist propaganda that you kind of have to see through. And once you have an eye for it, you'll see it pretty often.
But he is trying to explain himself a little more.
No, and this is what other officials in Iran have been saying over the past few days, that we are not actually attacking Persian Gulf states, but we're attacking the American and Israeli assets in the region. But yesterday, when a branch of Iranian bank was attacked in Iran by the Israelis, then the Iranian foreign minister warned banks in the regional countries that they will be attacked and that people should stay away from them. So it is, as I said, the continuation of what others have.
It's so funny though. They just literally said that Israel just attacked a bank in Iran, a non-military asset, and then Iran threatened to do the same. And as far as I know, they haven't actually gone through with that. And then they're complaining about Iran threatening to do the same. When it's like, dude, the other person literally just did that shit. Like what?
I've been saying we haven't really seen anything new in his statement. Everything that was said, the message of defiance, the message of carrying on with the military retaliation, have been said by the previous Iranian officials, and it seems that he's either a figurehead and that all the state affairs are at the moment at least being run by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and that the running of the country is in the hands of the armed forces rather than the civilian leadership. Or he's just going to take some time at least to consolidate his position in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that, sorry, the framing on that whole ending part was a little frustrating. Also, the audio was so scuffed on the actual address that, but I think we still got some good information. We heard the tone, we heard how he sounds. He sounds like he's going to behave, I think a little bit more aggressively than his father did. So, and I predicted that whoever they put in charge, whether it's, him or anybody else, would be more hardline, especially given the nature of what we're doing to him. So, yep, that's about what I was expecting.